Study hard and get good grades to make your parents proud. How many of you have heard this while growing up? Me too. I've always tried to get good grades and become the best at everything I do. Toastmaster of the day and my fellow Gallians. I am Sivamayuori Premnath, a happy, motivated and creative individual living her uni life amidst the corona pandemic. It's funny, isn't it? I've always wanted to get out of my shell and experience new things. But right now, I'm stuck within the four walls of my house, looking at a laptop screen for more than 12 hours per day. But that doesn't stop me from finding out the different sides of who I am. On the very first day of my university, I knew no one and had no friends. Right before my orientation, I was scared to death as I had lost touch in making new friends. But I was brimming with hope and curiosity in starting a new chapter in my life. As I entered the university premises, I saw that there were individuals who had already made friends and were making jokes. That bummed me out a little bit. But guess what I did? I went and talked to this girl right in front of me and we became good friends. She was also very new to this experience as well. That's when I realized the happiness you get when you make friends with the same vibes and the same wavelength. As I was still new, I was very quiet around the people I didn't know. That had made my current friends to think that I had an attitude problem. But later on, they realized that I was actually a very down-to-earth person who had a smile on her face all the time. But my closest friends and my family knows other side of me. How much of a sensitive person and a crier I actually am. For a large portion of my life, I have felt emotions very deeply, whether it be while watching a movie or notice the feelings of those around me. But I guess you could call me a natural empath. Now, when thinking of the closest person to me, the very first person who comes to my mind is my grandmother. She had impacted my life so deeply. You would all wonder why I am so attached to my grandmother, right? She had arrived at my house in 2015 when she was immensely affected by her illness. She was diagnosed with dementia for more than 5 years. But among all her pain and her confusions, she has always had a winsome smile. That's when I realized the impact she is actually going to have on me. But she had her happiest moments. She was always ready to have a cone of ice cream or a big bite of chocolate. And to think about it, she has always had my back. Once my mother and I had a huge fight. She was screaming at me and I was crying so loudly at 12 a.m. in the midnight. Guess who supported me? Yes, it was my grandmother. And to add on to that memory, she was always ready and she wanted me to come and sleep next to her because she knew that I was still mad about my mother. It was all fate that I was there next to her when she took her final breath. Even in her last few moments, she had connected with me like no one else has. For the last 10 months or so, I have laughed and cried, thinking about all the footprints she has left in my life. Yes, I do miss her. But I always feel her presence and her blessings like she's physically there next to me. I will always cherish and remember all the moments I had with her and maybe even pass it on to my kids one day. I've been talking about my strengths all this time. And y'all would wonder, doesn't she possess a certain level of weakness? Yes, I do. I'm known to be hot and quick-tempered, where I spur out hurtful remarks. I'm never the one to fight physically, but when it comes to using vicious words, I'm the queen of it. I've had different fights with both of my sisters where I had screamed at them so loudly that even my neighbors would have heard it. At the point of my anger, all I see is red. But after I calm down and I realize my mistake, I will go and apologize to them. As the dark, brooding Sirius Black once said, everybody has both light and darkness in them. It's up to them in choosing the path to act on. That's who they really are. That's the point of life, isn't it? We all have darkness in us, but it's up to us in choosing the right path to act on. We've got to learn to embrace the glorious mess we are. And no matter what the circumstances are, we need to bloom and rise above. So Toastmaster of the day, are you ready to bloom beyond your horizon? Over to you.